Let's say a vector belongs to Rn space. What does it mean? It means that that vector has n coordinates. Okay. If there is a set that contains only one vector, then that set is linearly independent automatically. Now, any vector on its own can derive another vector by its only through scalar multiple, right? If there is only one vector, what is the span of that single vector? It is the scalar multiple. Now, any scalar multiple of a vector and the vector itself both are linearly dependent, because if you can write some vector as k into a vector, then the another v vector is nothing but 1 by k into a vector. Okay. Now let's take the case of the R2. So in R2, vectors have, every vector belonging to R2 has two coordinates. Let's take that example first. In this R2, if you take any two vectors that are not a scalar multiple of each other, then the all possible linear combinations of these two vectors is going to span the entire R2, right? If you take any two vectors in the R2, then their span is the whole R2. Good. As a matter of fact, if you take for a given Rn space, you need n linearly independent vectors to span Rn. So right now we are talking about R2. So you need two vectors to span R2. Now consider generally for any Rn, let's say, if you have a set of vectors, then all possible linear combination of vectors in this set is the span of the set. Now let's say you add any other vector to this set. Does that vector will increase the span? I mean, will the newly formed set of vectors, because of this addition, will have a span more than the original set? Now, if the vector that is added is already linearly dependent on the vectors of the previous set, then there is not going to be any increase in the span. But if the new vector being added is not a linear combination of the vectors in the set, then the newly formed set, because of the addition of this linearly independent vector, will increase the span. Okay. Considering this, let's get back to R2. You have two vectors. These two vectors will span the entire R2. So definitely, if you add a vector, any vector to this set, it will not increase the span. How can it will increase? It is already spanning the whole R2. Okay. So addition of any new vector to a set, if that new vector is linearly dependent, if that new vector is a linear combination of the vectors in the original set, then a new set formed because of this addition is not going to have an increased span. In a set, if you have two vectors in R2 which is not a scalar multiple, if I add any other vector to this set and that vector is not a scalar multiple to any of the two vectors, then actually the span remains the same, but the choice of basis can change, because now any two vector you can change. You can take any two vector as the basis, because any two vector are going to be linearly independent for themselves. And if two vectors are linearly independent, then they themselves can span the entire R2. Okay, let's take a R50 space. And in that R50 space, let's say you have a set of vectors and there are 50 vectors in that set. Now it is possible, whenever you have a set of vectors, it is possible that you can form groups of vectors in that set which are linearly independent among themselves, right? Like for example, even in case of R2, let's say there is a set of all vectors in R2. Now there is a choice of basis there. You can take any two vectors would be a candidate for a basis vector, because any two vector which are not a scalar multiple of each other will span the R2. Similarly, let's say you have 50 vectors in a set of R50. Similarly, maybe you can form a group of 4 vectors which are linearly independent with one another. There is another group which has, let's say, 10 vectors which are linearly independent of one another. So how do you find within that set, how do you find the maximum number of linearly independent vectors? How do you find? The trick is to use Euclidean form. So put all those vectors as column vectors in a matrix, and then using the Euclidean form, you can get the maximum number of columns which are linearly independent. Means in the Euclidean form, your pivot columns are linearly independent and your free columns are linearly dependent on your pivot columns. This is what we do to find out the maximum number of linearly independent vectors in a set. Okay, when you look at the system of linear equations, okay, that can be written as Ax is equal to B, where A is the coefficient matrix, x is the vector, that is variable vector, B is the target vector. So A's order is m by n, x order is n by 1. So they are compatible for matrix and vector multiplication, and your target vector is m by 1. Now, how do we solve this system of linear equations? We solve this system of linear equations by first taking an augmented matrix, and then we reduce that augmented matrix to Euclidean form. Now, we know that in the Euclidean form of the augmented matrix, we actually get the pivot columns and the free columns, which tells you the maximum number of linearly independent columns in it and the linearly dependent columns on those pivot columns in it. Okay, so how do we solve now further? Let's say if you do not get any free variable, any free column in your augmented matrix after it is reduced to Euclidean form, you do not get any free column. What does it mean? It means that every column is pivot column and pivot columns are linearly independent, and to no surprise you get a unique solution. If a particular vector, how it is expressed as linear combination of linearly independent vectors, it is unique. So without surprise, you get a unique solution if all the columns are pivot columns in your Euclidean form of the augmented matrix. But when there is free column in your augmented Euclidean form of your augmented matrix, if there is free column, then how do you solve? You get a parametric solution. For every free column, you give it a parameter. Like for example, let's say x3 is equal to s, x4 is equal to t. If x3 and x4 are free column, then you get your answer in s and t, and then on reduction you find that it is you have infinite solution. But the number of linearly independent solution is equal to number of free variables. So that's it.